Hello, awesome people. I hope you are having an amazing day today. So for my Monday, I thought I would do 19. I just finished last week doing 1981's module X1, The Isle of Dread, for you folks by Tom Moldvay and David Zeba Cook. It launched the Back Me series in a lot of ways. It launched in my Star World very, very strongly, with a lot of details about different concepts and so forth. So I thought it would be fun for me to do the next one, also by Tom Moldvay in the series. I also had done X8 Drums on Fire Mountain a couple of weeks ago. So for my Monday, I get to like stuff on role-playing games or war games with Battletech and that sort of thing. So I thought it'd be fun for me to knock out Castlevania for you folks. Also by Tom Moldvay. X2 came out the same year as the previous things. The cover art is by Erol Otus and so forth. It's in the X line of the series, which is all about exploration. So although this one's a little less exploration until you get to the last part, it's a little more dungeon delvy and so far. So it can feel, although because of how good it is, many people will just forget that and kind of skip past that. It's actually, but if you think about it, it's really not that much of it's less of an X. Now, the E for Beckhamy stood for expert. This acronym, the A, stands for basic. It's for the first three levels. For you folks, it's all about the basic levels and learning it and such. And you're going to be doing delving with its concepts and characters and so forth. So that series of modules begins with B and is about that. The expert level is 4 to 9 level, which is the name level, and so forth. And you are getting a lot more things happening here. It's all about exploration, and that's the E part. You're getting more rules, more spells, and that sort of thing. And those start with X for exploration, like the previous one, which was the first dungeon module about exploration rather than dungeon delving as a theme. And then the C in companion is things which starts from level 9 at level 10 and takes you for another 10 levels or so. And that's all about building duchies and kingdoms and rolling them and stuff like that. And also being in the leads of battles as generals or admirals, that sort of thing. So that's all about those. And those modules start with CM for the companion line, and then the the M in Back Me comes from Masters. And that's all about the levels, the last 10 levels to get you up to level 36 for your folks. And it's all about the going from plane to plane of existence, or more importantly, classing horror and mortality, which will turn you into sort of like demigods, if you will. And then the immortals set, the I, is all about those, the becoming immortals. And so those last two begin with M and I, respectively. For folks, so that's kind of the Back concept, written large. So we're in the early era of that in the 1981. In X2. For you folks, like I mentioned before, this is a little more dungeon delvy and so forth. So basically, no spoilers. I know some people, it's like decades ago, but I just don't want to give spoilers. So please don't give spoilers. I won't be doing a deep dive. But you're coming across something in myths and such, and you'll have to do some exploring into it and so forth. And that mansion, Castle Amber, gets its title from, and is by the Amberville family. And each of the Ambervilles will be very, very different, very, very chaotic, and very, very strong. And there's also a part of this where you are, the house itself is a character to it, I would argue, and that sort of thing. But it's also based on, in this case, literally, not figuratively, the works of Clark Ashton Smith, since one of the worlds that you're going to go to is medieval France's Averoigne, for you folks, which is a world that he created, and so forth. So you're going to be going back to a world that he actually created on the far side of this. So that was literally, left and figuratively. Also part of the previous area when you're shown in the mansion proper, And the castle proper is lifted, I think, very, very strongly from the fall of the House of Usher, too, from like the characters of that Madeline being seen there, and that sort of thing. All right, so here you are dropped into a crazy, and I emphasize this by spelling out the entire word, chaotic world, and mention of the Amberville family. Sure, it's crazy as all get out, as you are just absolutely against this house, out really, and the folks here are just super bizarre, super crazy, super chaotic. Emphasis on chaotic. So another major thing is that this adds chaotic rolls back to stuff, so it brings that chaos. But here's the thing: you can get punished for doing things and helping out, or get punished for not doing it. Right? Or get rewarded for it, the same things. So it feels a little inconsistent with how it sort of treats its player and that sort of thing. Some players will love that. And if they run this and they like that, man, I suggest you run the Captain Manor Teagle, the Teagle Manor from the Judges Guild, also released at about this time. That will really push the craziness up a level or two. But some people just don't like it because there's not a lot of agency here, right? Right, they're just going to so no spoilers again as to what happens, but something that you do, right, and might do in a scene or not do, you can change your stats. You can change you permanently as a character. And I don't mean like scarred, right? I mean like permanently change, or something like that. But you permanently change you as a character, but into the positive or to the negative. At the time, it wasn't warmly received. For example, one review had it as a 6 out of 10 for you folks, but it has been voted the 15th best module of all time for the anniversary by fans and people that made the games and were actually professionals in the field. So if you'll recall, I recently did my own top videos from 70 up to 100 up to number 1, and this made my top 30 absolutely too. But it was right barely, it was like 29, 28, something like that. And that sort of thing. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10 like some do, or a 6 out of 10 like some did when it was released. And so because I think that Tom Moldvay nails the horror, nails the characterizations, the world building, the details of it, love that. But the introduction of chaos, the introduction of roles to resolve things, right, that can change your character permanently. And also, I just don't, it feels overly like you're removing some of the agency of players and so forth. So for that reason, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for you folks, for those reasons. That's Castle Amber from 1981 by Tom Moldvay for you folks. X2, the second X one. For you folks, so there you are. Have you played it as either Dungeon Master or as a player? I've done both. I've run it as a DM too. If you liked it, right, check out Teagle Manor. You might like it too, or you might think it's really bizarre too. Your choices may vary. All right, so yeah, but there you are. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you agree or disagree with my 8 out of 10, let me know your thoughts in the comments below too. Whatever your thoughts are, just again keep them spoiler free. I know this is older, and so a lot of people out there will be like, "I've already played this. I heard of it, right? I know all the spoilers. I know what's happening. Don't spoil it." Because a whole new generation of people is out there, right? We got so many people playing Dungeons and Dragons now, kids and new players and that sort of a thing. So let's keep it new for them too, right? So there you are. And then I just want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing in watching my videos, right? Because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions, right? So the fact that you spend this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. And I appreciate it so very, very much. So thanks again. And then if you like this, like I said, like I mentioned before, on this day, I like to do a lot of these things. So I'm free. I'll probably do another couple of modules that are pretty good too, and pretty common place to see what people think and see if the hits continue. If they do, I'll keep this up for a while, and if not, I'll probably drop it back down to just some other stuff. So I do like to do reviews of some of these older things for this channel. They're in fantasy, science fiction, horror. I like to do 3 reviews of this for older stuff. Like for example, I just published yesterday a Lynn Carter review from the 70s. It's a sword and sorcery short story. And then I also just been publishing our HP Lovecraft thing too. Also heavily influential, like Clark Ashton Smith was. And I've read a lot of Clark Ashton Smith. And I've done reviews for it too. So if that's your thing, hit this like button. You're going to definitely, and subscribe button. You're definitely going to like that too. Also, hit the bell icon. I also do some reviews of things like on Wednesday, I do video games. On Friday, I do movies. And also on Saturday, I dedicate to the lost genre, storytelling genre of the movies. And so that I call Serial Saturday. So there's a lot of that older stuff. And that passion comes from the name of my channel, The Worst Thing About New Books. That's a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old ones, right? And this is a module, so you play it. But you read it first, right? So I think it counts. All right, so there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Thanks again, and have an amazing day.